Hello and welcome to 18 WJTS in.form. We all know that COVID-19 has changed a lot of things, and one thing that has kept themselves the same, but has maybe improved what they do, I guess if you could even do that, is the Dubois County Community Foundation. Joining us in the studio is Clayton Boyles. Clayton, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Bill.
You are the Executive Director of the Dubois County Community Foundation, and let's talk a little bit about COVID-19's impact on the Community Foundation.
Sure. Well, as you mentioned, first of all, we can always improve. And so we're continuing to try to find ways that we always improve. But through a time of COVID, we've had to respond differently. But at the same time, and that's what I want to start off by saying, we as an organization continue to be strong and healthy and a vibrant community foundation. Through this time, we've had little interruption with our services. If anything, we've enhanced them in ways to meet current needs within COVID. And so, early on, we set up a COVID-19 response fund that was able to meet the needs of some of our nonprofits early on, in between kind of when COVID started, and when PPP dollars were able to come in through the federal government. We deployed over $100,000 to local nonprofits that were used for expenses, personnel costs, things that would cost dollars even whenever time and activity was paused. Still had dollars and bills to pay. So we were able to deploy $100,000 in about 13 to 14 different organizations were able to receive dollars from us at that time. But since then, we've continued to have conversations with nonprofits and donors to find out ways in which we can continue to support how we as a community foundation need to respond. I am excited to share that we did receive a larger grant from Lilly Endowment and through Indiana United Ways as a partnership of $250,000 that will be utilized specifically again for COVID-19 for organizations that are on the front line of COVID-19, such as maybe our hospital or service line organizations, but also for organizations that have been affected by COVID-19. And so this $250,000 is given to each county in Indiana, and our allotment of $250,000 was based on population size. Smaller county populations get less and larger get more, of course. But our $250,000 will be primarily utilized for organizations that we will proactively be reaching out to and partnering with. We are still seeking active partnerships. It'll be a little bit different than our typical grant-making process where nonprofits just apply to us through an application process. There still will be that vetting or application process, but we're really trying to look for strong, long-term, proactive partners. So I hope in a month or so from now when we come back together here that I'll be able to give you a little bit of a rundown of some of the ways that we've been able to grant make out some of this $250,000 to some of our local organizations.
It's really amazing what you've done, truly, and it's one of those things that I don't think people realize the effect, the impact that Dubois County Community Foundation has had. You've always been there to help organizations out for years. They need money for fire trucks or for buildings or for this or that. Then we come into a crisis and you step up and give money to help organizations stay viable, which we need to have. So thank you very much for that.
Well, you thank me and I'll thank our donors. I think that's the important piece. Our community has come together since '96. Our Dubois County Community Foundation has been in existence, and so we'll be celebrating our 25th anniversary in 2021. And we're here and we are vibrant and sustainable because our donor base says this place is important. This community foundation is important, our county is important, the lives and the people in it are important, and we want to give in order to ensure vibrancy and health and prosperity long term. And so why we're able to be strong now is because we've been sustainable. We're a sustainable organization. Certainly those that even are sustainable will get hit hard, but it's how well they can take the hit and be able to get through it. And so we've been able to run through this in strides because of our sustainability, because of the health of our organization, because of the donor backing that we have. And so in order to do that, we've been able to also be able to step up and meet some of the needs our community has through some of our COVID time.
And you mentioned donors, and I hate to ask this, but have you seen some people cutting back or some slowness in giving?
So I think that in general, as a community foundation, summertime is a slow time in a way. You think about families; they're on vacations, they're out of school, they're thinking about relaxing and getting away, and probably taking those vacations throughout the summer. Our contributions are always a bit smaller and less throughout the summer. And nonprofits in general experience more giving in third and fourth quarter of the year, kind of that year-end giving, holiday giving kind of timeline. So I expect an uptick like normal in third and fourth quarter. But to talk about contributions through like a natural disaster time period or a pandemic, a crisis like we are experiencing COVID-19, since philanthropy has been tracking contributions, which has been 50 and 60 and maybe even 80 years, there's only been a handful of times where giving has actually gone down in general, like maybe even 3 or 4 times in the history of the last maybe 75, 80 years where giving has actually gone down. And when we are talking about going down, we're not talking 10 and 25%, we're talking 1 or 2 or 3% of going actually down. What we actually experience is the opposite. In times of need, in times of crisis, donors step up. They give at that time. Now, they may not give later on. If they normally are giving $100 and they usually wait to the end of the year and COVID hits in March, they may give in March 100, but not in the end of the year. But their giving hasn't decreased. It's just been expedited a bit. And so we do experience that. I think some of our nonprofits have experienced that, where giving continues to be at a level that they were experiencing. What I would say some nonprofits are experiencing is that the decrease would be in some of their special events, like some fundraisers that have had to be canceled or postponed. And that's something that we encourage all nonprofits, and we have been for the last, really since I've been at the Community Foundation, and even before that, some of my other team members talk about diversifying your revenue source. We can't rely on fundraisers solely or special events solely to bring in all the dollars necessary for operations. We have to have different ways of bringing in revenue, whether that's a fee for a service, a product that they sell, certainly an event once in a while, or an endowment through the Community Foundation of building sustainability. But if we have a fundraiser that gets canceled or a rain out or something that makes it not come in like normal, we have to be able to find ways in order to sustain ourselves and find a different way to bring in dollars, and not just say, well, that fundraiser didn't go well, now we don't have enough. We have to think of ways to be sustainable and work through it.
Now, we mentioned that work doesn't stop. You have just been going full throttle the whole time. Yeah. You have a new endowment to announce.
We do, yeah. Carol Gasser passed away a few months ago, and her husband came in just a few weeks ago, and it was a really great conversation with him. He shared with us that his wife Carol was a teacher all her career, primarily at Pine Ridge Elementary School, and so we've created the Carol A. Gasser Memorial Endowment, and it will primarily support educational needs at Pine Ridge Elementary School. And so Carol taught for many years there and taught, I'm sure, thousands of children. This endowment will help support the school and all the children that are there now and forever into the future. And so even though Carol is no longer here, she is still adding to that school and supporting that school through the endowment that her family, her husband helped build in her memory.
What a great way to keep that memory going.
Yeah, it's been really special to watch donors come in over the years, being able to tie back something that someone that they lost, someone that they want to memorialize, and make it truly an honor for them to continue on the legacy that they had while living, and now that they're no longer here, still can live on through a legacy gift with the Community Foundation.
You've done some recent grant making to kind of give people an idea. Okay, so there's endowments, there is money that you're going to give out. Mm-hmm. Who gets it?
Yeah,
and this is a great example.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Where I talked earlier about COVID dollars, The first 100,000 was actually from our community foundation unrestricted grant making, and also from some donors giving through our response fund. And then the 250 that Lily will give is directly for COVID. But as you mentioned, Bill, we haven't stopped doing what we normally do, and that unrestricted grant making is what we continually do. Our unrestricted grant making process is open-ended. It's on a rolling basis. We don't have an application deadline per se, so you can apply throughout any time of the year. And we have 7 grants committee members that review grant applications as they come in. They meet internally every 2 months and review grant making. And so we have announced and have about 7 or 8 different organizations that in this round of grant making that we have awarded, and just wanted to share a few highlights. The last couple years we've been supporting a lot of quality of place initiatives, such as the Parklands in Jasper or the Market Street Park in Huntingburg. The Ferdinand Park Board has recently been working on the Old Town Lake project, kind of in your neck of the woods. Ferdinand guy.
I've been on that old lake. I've lived a lot of good childhood memories there.
That's awesome. So go check it out if you haven't. My understanding is that they have continued the project and are wrapping some things up. This $50,000 grant, which we're able to give them, helped wrap up the project and also add a few amenities that they didn't think that they would be able to add. And so go check out the Old Town Lake in Ferdinand. Go to the Parklands, go to the Market Street Park, see and feel and experience what our community has to offer. I mean, 3 awesome locations and many others. I mean, ones that we're not mentioning, but those are just 3 that we've been a part of. Another grant is to Main Street Jasper. The state of Indiana has kind of has this umbrella over just what they call the Indiana Main Street program. And essentially what it is cities and towns in Indiana are able to apply to become their own nonprofit organization in their city under the Main Street umbrella. That really, it's truly about bringing people to a place. In this case, in Main Street Jasper, it's our downtown, all the way kind of extended to River Center and throughout our downtown area, not just our square, but our downtown area. And Main Street Jasper's premise is to talk about revitalization, enhancement, enrichment of downtown, retail shops of promotion and advertising for them, being able to just promote people to shop local, be downtown. And so Main Street program, we were able to award a $22,500 grant, which is going to be a 3-year grant to kind of help them with their startup costs in order to build up their sustainability until donors kind of see what they're doing so they can continue to support it. A third one to highlight, and I know there's many, but the last one I will share is a grant to TRICAP, our health and social service organization that not only primarily supports Dubois County, but a couple other counties in our area. TRICAP does a myriad of different things within our community, from working with individuals that need rent, utility assistance. They have a Head Start program for child care and preschool. They have weatherization programming to talk about helping lower utility bills on a home. But a program that they've had for a while is a health navigator. And you and I could take advantage of that service. We don't have to be pre-qualified or have a need that we're not being able to get met. It is open to anybody in the community to be able to go and work with this health navigator. What this health navigator does is primarily work with you to determine what type of health insurance you should be getting. So if you work for an organization that doesn't offer health insurance, and you need it, and you need help navigating through that, this healthcare navigator is there to do that. And so this grant is able to support that as a $15,000 grant that will help them just continue to sustain that position and be able to meet the needs of a community. I mean, I think we all know that health insurance is a bit of a big animal to work through, and so having an advocate next to you work through that, I mean, those are big costs that people incur. So doing it in an efficient and affordable way is something that we want to help support our community with doing.
So there's a lot of variety of the way that you're helping people with grants. How do you choose those?
Oh, it's tough.
Okay.
It's tough. It's
you
tough.
Don't flip a coin, right?
No flipping of coins. It's tough. We think about geographic location, certainly. We want to support our whole county, not just a specific area. We think about how is an organization going to be able to be sustainable? Is the project that they're working on going to be successful? Are there multiple funders? We don't want to be the only funder, because one thing is that when you have multiple funders, that gives us a clue that the community in general wants to see that program or project happen. So if it's just one person's pet project and a lot of the community really doesn't care about it, think about the sustainability long term. If just one person cared about it and that person no longer is here one day, then it probably will fold. But if we have a lot of people around us that really care about something, we think that sustainability will be a big factor that will help out. We want to work with organizations who want to support themselves and deepen their understanding of sustainability as well. And we want to help initiatives that are quality of life, quality of place. We don't always care about how many people we serve. It's about the quality that we serve as well. So you have to mix that. But it's a tough process. I mean, you think about giving away dollars, what we're doing, it's not my dollar that we're giving away. And if it was my dollar, it'd probably be less scrutinous about it. But it's your dollar that we're giving away. It's Joe's dollar that we're giving away. It's our community's donors that have trusted the Community Foundation and said, hey, we care about our county. We trust your organization to be able to vet through and find the greatest needs in order that we need to support. And I trust you to do that. And so there's an extra level of scrutiny that we put on ourselves to be able to sustainably and in a stewardable way grant dollars out that a donor has trusted us with.
Well, thank you for the work that you do to steward that, and
Thank
for
you.
the whole crew at the Dubois County Community Foundation. And remember, if you'd like to make a donation, contact you. Or if you're a nonprofit group would like some information on how to make your organization better, you help with that too.
Absolutely.
Great work. Thank you very much.
Thanks
Clayton,
for having us
coming
on.
in. Well, I guess we really shouldn't be.
We can do that, right?
Yeah, that's right.
It's tough.
All right. Thank you for watching 18 WJTS. Our guest has been Clayton Boyles. He's the Executive Director of the Dubois County Community Foundation. We are local people watching local people.